back to the channel. Dang, I forgot what I was about to say. Over here, brain froze. But been gone for a couple days now. Let's turn this mic up because I feel like I can't even hear myself. Hello, hello. There we go. That might be better. But we're gonna get back. Hold on. I feel like my mic settings are so low, but I don't want to increase it too much because then it starts hurting the ears. But we're back with more stories. Gonna get into it. Um, found some. I feel like I say the same thing every time. Found some interesting stuff because I feel like I always do. I probably go for about an hour today, but again, let me start off. If this isn't your cup of speed, if this is something you can't listen to, please, please, please turn the channel, watch something else. Some of these stories get dark. All right. Probably, at least this time, I didn't forget to hit record because I forget to hit record and then I don't have the file and I have to still download it and it takes forever for it to actually save. So let's go ahead. Got a notification. It's 3 days ago. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Um, Today I think we're doing a mix. I like the Wattpad reading from last time, so I'm gonna start there, and I'll decide if I need to get into the Axemen of New Orleans, so I'll probably do that next, and then I'll do Reddit if I have some time. But let's go and get started. Mackenzie Cowell was 17 years old at the time of her disappearance. She lived in Orondo, Washington, and was a senior at Winnetachi High School, where she was a member of the school dance team. She also worked as a model and studied cosmetology at the Winnetachi Academy of Hair Design in downtown Winnetachi. Mackenzie went missing shortly after 3 p.m. on February 9th, 2010. She was last seen on surveillance video leaving the Academy of Hair Design, walking to her car and driving away. She had told classmates that she would be back in less than 15 minutes. Around this time, she sent a text message to her boyfriend that said, "Hey, what's up?" This was the last time she is known to have used her phone. Mackenzie's father attempted to contact her around 5:40 p.m., but his calls went straight to voicemail. Her family became increasingly concerned after Mackenzie missed her 8 p.m. curfew. Later that night, a homeowner in remote Chelan County reported an abandoned car near his driveway. Police traced the car's registration to Mackenzie's father, who informed them Mackenzie was missing. The car was located near Mission Ridge, about 40 miles from her home in Orondo. Mackenzie's purse and some clothes were found in the car, although her debit card and cell phone were missing. According to police, only one pair of footprints was found at the scene. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office began the investigation into Mackenzie's disappearance by using a helicopter to search the area near where her car was found. Search warrants were issued for Mackenzie's phone records and social media activity. At the request of the sheriff, the FBI was called in to assist with the investigation. On the afternoon of February 13th, Mackenzie's body was discovered on the banks of Columbia River near Quincy, Washington, at a resort community about 20 miles away, Winnetachi. She was found fully clothed with her feet in the water. A vacant house for sale was located about 50 yards from where her body was found. An autopsy determined the cause of death had been strangulation and stab wounds to the neck. Mackenzie also suffered blunt force trauma to the head. Jeez. The killer had apparently attempted to cut off one of her arms after her death. A knife was found, still stuck in her shoulder. Investigators found no evidence that Mackenzie had been sexually assaulted. On February 25th, around 1,800 people attended a memorial service for Mackenzie, which was held at the Town Toyota Center in Winnetachi. Wenatchee, Man, I definitely butchered that. Wenatchee. The investigation was headed by the McKenzie Cow Task Force, a multi agency police group assembled after the recovery of Mackenzie's body. The task force included law enforcement agents from the cities of Wenatchee and East Wenatchee, and from the counties of Chelan and Douglas. An FBI agent and two officials from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement also assisted the task force. The case was the largest multi agency investigation in the Wenatchee area since an attempted serial bombing in 1997. Police interviewed over 800 people throughout the course of the investigation. Police started looking into Mackenzie's boyfriend, Joaquin Velacino, as well as her mother's boyfriend, Joey Fisher. According to police, Joaquin had failed a polygraph when asked if he knew what happened to Mackenzie. Joey had allegedly gotten into a big argument with Mackenzie the day before she went missing. However, both Joaquin and Joey were later completely cleared by the police. The next lead in the case came from Liz Reed, a college student, police informant and former drug dealer. Oh, okay. Liz told police that two drug dealers, Sam Cuevas and Emmanuel Cerros, had murdered Mackenzie in a case of mistaken identity. The two had supposedly believed Mackenzie was an informant. Liz claims she saw a snuff film of the murder that Sam admitted to her. I choked that bee to shut her up. Liz was able to describe the murder weapon before it was made public and gave police a ring which she claimed had belonged to Mackenzie. She said Emmanuel had sent her to the murder site to find the ring. None of Mackenzie's family members recognized the ring belonged to Mackenzie. Liz later retracted her claim of seeing a video of the murder. As a result, police began to question Liz's credibility. Sam and Emmanuel were interviewed by police and produced alibis, witness statements, and phone records, placing them elsewhere on the day of Mackenzie's disappearance. Man, I wasn't trying to interrupt. I wonder. I just thought about something. All right, like with the phone record stuff, if somebody else has your phone, couldn't that technically mean if somebody else has your phone, technically you could make calls and stuff from other places, right? I know this might not pertain in this scenario, but am I right? If we're looking at phone records, trying to trace where people are, if, let's just say, Sam and Emmanuel if they had a woman, and gave her the phone. Hey, I'm just saying, this stuff you got to think about. After receiving several tips, police began to focus the investigation on Christopher Scott Wilson, a 29-year-old classmate of Mackenzie at the Academy of Hair. Hey, they don't know who it is. Police received a letter in August which claimed that Christopher had an obsession with death, dead bodies, and serial killers. Jeez, sounds like the reason people are probably here. One of Christopher's classmates told police that Christopher said he used to work in funeral homes, that he liked that, and that he liked to cut people up. Okay. On October 6th, Christopher was arrested on suspicion of second-degree murder and was held on $1 million bail. DNA found on duct tape near Mackenzie's body was discovered linked to Chris in the crime. According to investigators, Christopher left the beauty school shortly after Mackenzie did on the day she disappeared. 3 witnesses reported seeing a man matching Christopher's description nearby her car when it had been abandoned. A search of Christopher's apartment revealed the presence of blood, which matched Mackenzie's DNA. And I read that terribly. A search of Christopher's apartment revealed the presence of blood, which matched Mackenzie's DNA. In December, the Cowell Task Force made a second arrest. Christopher's friend, Tessa M. Shulamon, was accused of, but never charged with, helping Chris conceal the crime. She was instead charged with obstruction of justice for an unrelated case. Detectives claimed that many photos were found on Christopher's computer of Tessa posing as a dead person. on the spot in Christopher's apartment where Mackenzie's blood was found. Tessa claimed she had no knowledge of the blood stain and that Christopher had told her to pose there. Pros- okay. Prosecutors upgraded Christopher's charge from second degree to first degree murder in April 2011, stating that his actions constituted premeditation. If convicted, he would face a sentence of 20 to 26 years in prison. Before the trial began, Christopher rejected a plea deal in which he would have received a prison sentence of about 6.5 years in exchange for pleading guilty to first degree manslaughter. 26 to 6? Really? Yeah, I better be innocent. Christopher's defense team was led by John Henry Brown, a prominent Seattle attorney who had previously represented high profile defendants such as Ted Bundy and Colton Harris Moore. Oh, this was a hope. Dang, I still would have been young, but this girl would have been young. We'd have been about the same age. We'd have been about the same age, I think. She was just graduating. Let's see. Now, John intended to argue that Mackenzie's blood had been planted in Christopher's apartment. According to John, more blood should have been found at the apartment, given the violent nature of Mackenzie's death. The presiding judge ruled that the defense would be allowed to present evidence implicating Sam and Emmanuel as the killers. The judge also ruled that the prosecution would not be allowed to bring up Christopher's work history at area funeral homes, his tattoo of Hannibal Lecter, or his online activity on Defiant Art and on serial killer forums. Oh, jeez. After jury selection for the trial began, Christopher accepted a new plea deal. I bet you did. He pleaded guilty to first degree manslaughter of Mackenzie Kyle, as well as first degree robbery for taking her cell phone and second degree assault for an unrelated case. He was sentenced to 14 years and 3 months in prison. So he took 14 years instead of 26. Wait, wasn't this 2011? Oh, he sentenced 14 years? He better get, no, wait, my math is wrong, is it? No, my math ain't right. Wrong. He better get out. Christopher will later maintain his innocence, stating stating that he only pled guilty because he did not believe he would receive a fair trial. Yeah, right, buddy. According to Christopher, around 80% of the juror candidates answered questionnaires stating that they either believed Christopher was guilty or they had knowledge of evidence which was ordered to be suppressed at the trial. Christopher filed a motion to withdraw his guilty plea, but the motion was rejected by the Washington Court of Appeals. His imprisonment of Callum Bay Correction Center and was scheduled to be eligible for parole in 2023. Oh, it just ends like that. Okay. That is interesting. Okay. All I know is if I'm innocent, I'm not admitted to be guilty if I'm innocent. And no matter if I have to spend time in jail or not, I'm not admitting to being guilty because, well, I guess that's the lawyers and the prosecution, and that's what they try to make you feel. There's nothing else that you can do. But I don't know. There ain't no way. But the thing is, I can't admit to being guilty. I don't think I ever would. There's no way, especially something if I know I didn't do it. Yeah, in this case, he didn't. My th- and I know there's certain people in jail that probably, let's just say Chris was innocent, but he had the pressure, the heat on him, and he's like, man, I might as well take this 14. Should have took the 6 if he was gonna do that, but nah. To be honest with you, he got off light though. To be honest, and I wonder if they couldn't find too much evidence. So they found the blood stain. My thing is, you find the blood stain at your apartment, okay? Because ain't nobody. I would say, depending on how big the blood stain, nobody's really bleeding like that unless they either been hit or you done did something to them. And then secondly, they found your DNA over some tape, and they know you have a fascination with dead people. And this dude's probably out now. But let me see, where is he from again? Where this happened? Orlando, where's Orlando at? Washington. All right, so he's on the other side of the U.S. So I don't got to deal with that dude. This is crazy. What I'm learning about Wattpad though is I think they. Oh no, these are places you could put comments. I'm over here. Oh no, yeah, you can put more comments on the side over here. Somebody said the Toyota Center. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'm not too familiar with that, so I couldn't really couldn't answer that for real. Um, Somebody said Christopher's defense team was led by. Did they put this or this is a story? This is a story. Yeah, this is a story. Let's go back over this. It says Christopher's defense team was led by John Henry Brown, a prominent Seattle attorney who had previously represented high-profile defendants such as Ted Bundy and Colton Harris Moore. Well, I'm gonna have to do some more research into Colton, but I know Ted Bundy was absolutely insane, and I'm assuming Colton was too, since he's on this list. So it's already not a good look for you, Chris, especially if you didn't do it. And my thing would be, yeah, man, forget that. You're guilty. I don't care. I don't care. You're guilty. I'm surprised the judge said they ruled stuff out. His work history, funeral homes, tattoo of Hannibal Lecter. Cannibal, really? Or online activity at Define Art. Somebody put, because that's not sketchy at all. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, really? We'll take out all of that? Makes no sense at all. All right, let's keep going. Oh, I know we got 15 more comments. Jeez. Okay. Someone said, "Oh, for once, I am glad to live in New Jersey." Someone said, "Dang, that's next year." I know. I would say for me, he's out now. Yeah, I don't understand why he didn't get life. If y'all have the evidence to convict him for first degree murder, I'm honestly I was surprised that he didn't get that. So I don't know what makes somebody not get life. Why did I feel like maybe this is stuff I should look up. I guess I'm got nothing but time, but yeah, because go mm, how do you go and kill somebody but you don't get life? That makes no sense to me. Uh, yeah, because if anything, like now, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Not if how you kill somebody you get life, because I don't feel like like people in gangs and stuff like that, they kill each other. I don't think they should get life because on both sides we understand unless they kill the innocent person. But if they kill the street members and then you convict them, man, that is their lifestyle. That is their lifestyle. So kind of understood, what's happening here. But kill innocent people, that's like especially it had nothing to do with it. And I bet you those two dudes in the drug gang, I wonder if they got out. Especially my thing is too, they are known people. And they got sold out. I don't know who Liz is, but sold them out immediately. Mm. Actually, I don't want to look this up on my phone because it probably looks bad. Looks bad. And I don't have any plans to do anything, but I don't need to target on my back for no reason. I prefer not to. All right. Oh man, the crazy thing is, I remember. I think I'm watching this story. This is a basketball player, Lorenzen Wright. Now, let's go over this. I wonder how they wrote this. My lady Arena to Crime. I like her stories. All right, let's get going. Lorenzen Lorenzen Wright was born November 4th, 1975. An American professional basketball player who played 13 seasons in the NBA. He was drafted seventh overall in the '96 draft to the Los Angeles Clippers. Also played for the Hawks, Grizzlies, Kings, and Cleveland Cavaliers. Raised in Oxford, Mississippi, Lorenzen played for Lafayette High School in Mississippi before moving to Memphis, where he spent his senior year playing for Booker T. Washington High School. He played at all levels of basketball in Memphis, high school, collegiate, and professional. His father, Herb, was a professional basketball player who competed in Finland and once had a tryout with the Utah Jazz. When Lorenzen was 7 years old, Herb was working for the Memphis Police Department when he was paralyzed by a gunshot to the back. I know I watched that thing, but I don't remember that. Lorenzen founded the Sierra Simone Wright Scholarship Fund after the death of his infant daughter in March 2003. During the summer of 2003, he returned to the University of Memphis to finish his degree. During his first stint in Atlanta, Lorenzen and three other Memphis native NBA players provided financial assistance to Travis Butler, a Memphis orphan whose tragic story garnered national attention. According to his ex-wife, Lorenzen left his home in Collierville, Tennessee on the night of July 18, 2010, with drugs and an unspecified amount of money, and was not seen or heard from again. His family filed a missing persons report on July 22nd, 2010. After Lorenzen's body was found on July 28th in a wooded area on Callis Cutoff Road, just west of Hacks Cross Road. Let me get this bigger. Can't see. It was reported that a 911 call had been received from a cell phone the early morning of July 19th by Germantown, Tennessee. 911 dispatch center. The caller was speaking with the dispatcher when 11 gunshots rang out. The dispatcher did not report the call to his supervisor until 8 days later, hindering the police investigation and resulting in a payout to Lorenzen's family. The case was investigated as a homicide. Lorenzen's body is buried in Calvary Cemetery in Memphis, Tennessee. In 2011, a reward for information related to the killing stood at $21,000. The state of Tennessee contributed $10,000. The city of Memphis and Memphis Grizzlies each promised $5,000, and Crime Stoppers promised $1,000. On November 9th, 2017, the gun believed to have been used to murder Lorenzen was found in Walnut, Mississippi Lake. On December 5th, 2017, Billy R. Turner, Shelby County landscaper and church deacon at Mount Olive, number 1 Missionary Baptist Church in Collierville, Tennessee, was indicted on first-degree murder charges and held on $1 million bond. They said the pastor? Oh, the deacon. Still. Jeez, okay. Deacons out here killing people. On December 15th, 2017, Lorenzen's ex-wife, Shara Wright Robinson, was arrested in California in connection with the murder. That's right. Shara was a former member of Billy's church. Lorenzen's mother, Deborah Marion, told the Commercial Appeal newspaper that a police official told her Shara will be charged with first-degree murder, the same charge Billy faces. Deborah said she believes her former daughter-in-law was motivated by money, specifically $1 million life insurance policy held by Lorenzen Wright. What? He was an NBA player. What? They played for 13 years. I guess she was an ex-wife at this point, but still. Okay, $1 million, really? In a 2015 article in the Commercial Appeal, Shara explained how she inquired early in the investigation whether she was a suspect. It was like, no. It was like, no, She said it was just kind of a person of interest. They said that the list was long and wide and they didn't have any real suspects. If you want to quote that. Records showed that on August 1st, 2010, Memphis police searched her home and found burnt pieces of metal and a letter addressed to her and Lorenzen Wright. But law enforcement at that time did not say what those items meant to investigators. Really? In 2014, Shara agreed to a confidential settlement of a dispute in circuit court over how she spent the $1 million of insurance money meant to benefit their 6 children. Of course she did. She was selfish. That's what this was. She was absolutely selfish. On July 25th, 2019, Shara pleaded guilty to the facilitation of first-degree murder in the shooting death of Lorenzen Wright and was sentenced to 30 years in prison. See, how does she get 30 years and the other guy, well, yeah, this is still murder, murder, murder. The other guy, it said 20 to 26. Like, I'm using just max perspective. Okay. Not comparing murders, but still. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Somebody put on there. I'm not surprised the dispatcher waited. That's something I see a lot. Really? Wait. Dispatcher waited. I remember they said, hold on, hold on. Was he called and then 11 shots, right? Caller was speaking to dispatcher when 11 gunshots rang out. Dispatcher did not report the call to his supervisor until 8 days later. That dispatcher is now fired. I put that part in there. All right. Let's see. Quick question. How does someone hide a gun in a walnut? They're trying to be funny. And okay. Gee. Somebody else puts. I wonder what the dispatcher was thinking. Oh, someone called 911. I hear 11 gunshots. Obviously, they must be at a theater play, right? Let's not report this to 8 days later. Yeah, what are they thinking? It says bro probably got traumatized or something. You're a 911 dispatcher. You're supposed to help people's lives any way you can. This is not the right job for you if you're going to get traumatized by death. I'm pretty sure you're going to hear death over that phone. Yeah, what kind of dispatcher? It's literally your job. So sad. Yeah, that is I remember hearing this. I remember hearing this story and watching it. I want to say it was 30 for 30 or something on ESPN before. And once I started reading it, I started remembering different parts of the story. Um, there's a couple of NBA stories. Actually, probably another NBA story now I'm thinking of. I can't think of it, but it was about the guy. Were they twin brothers or they was brothers? And basically killed him for money. I think it was twin brother because he looked like him. Tried to go deposit checks in his name after he was dead. It's weird, but they wouldn't let him. All right. All right. This will be my last Wattpad story. Then I need. If I'm gonna get to the Axemen of New Orleans, I already know that's a long one. Yeah, because that, oof, or a long read. All right. I'm pausing. I don't know how to pronounce this. Sarah Mac McDermid. Yep. Sarah McDermid. Sarah McDermid. McDermid. Sarah McDermid was a 23-year-old Scottish Australian woman who disappeared from Cannock railway station in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia on the 11th of July in 1990. She is presumed murdered, although no trace of her body has ever been found. That's sad. Sarah, who immigrated with her family in 1987 from the Scottish Highlands to Australia, had been playing tennis after work with her two friends at what was known as Flinders Park in Batman Avenue, East Melbourne, before walking to Richmond Station, where they found that they had just missed Frankston line train. They caught a train to Caulfield, then changed to a Frankston service. Sarah's friends left this train at Bond Beach, while she remained, continuing onto Cannock Station, where her vehicle was parked. She was last seen alighting the train. I hope that's the right word because I'm not sure what alighting means. Alighting the train and heading for the poorly lit car park at approximately 10:20 p.m. Police suspected that Sarah had been assaulted based on bloodstains found beside her red 1978 Honda Civic, abandoned in the station car park, and drag marks leading into the bushes. as well as finding a cigarette lighter on the ground belonging to Sarah. But no trace of her was ever found. Later, witnesses said Sarah got off the train and crossed the footbridge to the car park, where some people believe they heard a woman shouting, "Give me my keys." A 21-day extensive air, sea, and land search, more than 250 police, produced no results. Jeez. A later appeal for information led to two witnesses reporting they had also heard a woman exclaim, "Give me back my keys." Usually, wouldn't you hear that from like a boyfriend? Was she dating anybody? That's the first person I'm checking if I heard that. In May 2006, an inquest held by coroner Ian West found Sarah had met her death as a result of foul play, but exact circumstances were unknown. How do you do that without having a body? An initial state government reward of $50,000 was increased after an additional $75,000 was offered by an anonymous benefactor. This was increased to $1 million in 2004 and remains current. Wow. In 2011, convicted Australian serial killer Paul Denyer was interviewed by police and denied any involvement in Sarah's disappearance. I'm gonna stop the story there because this is the first serial killer I've ever heard say they did not kill somebody, and I feel like I just haven't heard this one as reading the stories. He's the first one. In May 2014, News Corp Australia claimed police investigators considered convicted Australian serial killer Bengali Debs to be a suspect in the case. Fairfax Media quoted a senior police source who said it was common practice for homicide investigators to examine links between unsolved murders and known offenders. A Victoria police spokesperson declined to comment to Fairfax Media as Sarah's disappearance was an active case. The cold case was featured in the first episode of Australian psychic TV series Sensing Murder, which aired on Network 10 in September 2004. Psychics used this opined, ooh, opined? Did it mean opinion? Program opined that Sarah had been murdered and her body thrown into a now closed rubbish dump on the Mornington Peninsula. In 2010, marking the 20th anniversary of Sarah's disappearance, her family and friends visited Kananook Railway Station to leave wreaths at a memorial established there. Her family also announced they had created a website, Not Alone, which was designed to help other families who find themselves in a position similar to them. Police used the anniversary to issue a new call for information on the case with Victoria Police Assistant Commissioner Dane Maloney, stating, "You did not close the books on these sort of cases. History proves that if you continue to communicate with people out there in Victoria, in Australia, in the world in some cases, that pieces of information, that key will come forward and we'll solve it." Man, I'm surprised they didn't. Did she not have a boyfriend? Because they really didn't mention. The writer doesn't really mention too many suspects in this case. Let's be honest. Other than no serial killers. Like, give me my keys back. Somebody shouting that. If that was her, yeah, I would be looking into somebody she knew. Yeah, I'd be looking into friends. Hey, look, family in certain cases. All right, let's see. Somebody said this is sad. I hope they find who killed her. It's sad that she was never found. Yeah, I think that's the saddest part. She was never found. I think Sarah could have maybe had enemies or someone who was envious and jealous of her, because the person who killed her or attacked her seems to be very experienced in considering that her body was never found, and it shows that the killer or attacker had meticulously planned the whole thing, is very experienced in hiding the body, and no clues was found. I think she was killed by an experienced assassin. An assassin? But why? I see why serial killers. I can see why they would interview serial killers, which I think I would too. You might as well rule them out if you can, but they would be my prime suspects as well. But in this case, if one piece of evidence I had was find the keys, I'm looking at family members because I don't think now I don't know too much about death yet. I learned a lot by reading this stuff, but if she was buried or not buried, if she was like put in a freezer or something like that, she wouldn't stink, would she? So you open it up, maybe? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. This is weird. I don't know, but that sucks. Somebody put right under that. I agree. The killer would have to know important things about Sarah, including they would know where to hide the body, where is most likely to be found, because she doesn't know those places, and and including the suspect is experienced. In other words, he might stalk his victims in order to make it blow over fast. Dude, man, this can be a scary world. I'll just say that. Very scary. Um, ooh, man. Jeez, man. All right. Am I reading this or do I? Ooh, no, I want to read this one. All right. X-Men New Orleans. I might have to do that tonight. I come back on. I do exclusive. Okay. I want to do this one. This one's from Reddit, but I like how it's tapered, even though it is long. I want to do this one. We'll be reading forever. We'll be reading till tomorrow. Reading till tomorrow. Okay. What I need to do versus what I want to do. What I need to do is wait and start up another live stream in probably 30 to 40 minutes. That's what I need to do because it makes sense. And then I'll do it after that. All right, people, I will be back in just a little bit.